Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our Consumer Hala brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
morning and welcome to ConsumerHallaTV News this hour. I am Iri Ayomikunle Eke. Now let's start with the headlines. Dangote thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over sabotage attempt. Now the short Chinese supermarket in Abuja for illegal product. NDLEA destroyed 24,897 kilograms skunk and arrest suspect. We start the news of the day by talking about Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Has the refinery recommended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for restably intervention for averting what he described as the disruptive actions of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria against the company. Via statement issued yesterday, the company said the president's leadership through his ministers and senior government officials ensure the restoration of all-around stability to the energy sector at a critical moment. Recall that Pengassan had last week shut down critical oil and gas facilities over allegations that the Dangote refinery sacked 800 workers who joined the union. But now, the intervention of the federal government restored normalcy as Pengassan suspended the strike last Wednesday. The statement read in quote, Dangote refinery is grateful to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his intervention through his ministers and senior officials, which resulted in the abatement of the disruptive actions of Pengassan against the refinery. End of quote. According to the company, among the key government officials who worked tirelessly to restore normalcy were Nigerian security chiefs led by the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuri Badu, the Director General of the Department of the State Services, Mr. Adeola Ajayi, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Mr. Mohammed Mohammed. To the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control now as a short stew Chinese supermarket located in the Jabi district and 8 cosmetic shops at Wuse Market in Abuja for selling and distributing regulated products in the country. NAFDAC disclosed this in a press statement at the weekend signed by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Protocol, Adegboyega Osiyemi. The agency said, in quote, acting on the directive of the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, the enforcement team confiscated and evacuated unfunded product worth over 870 million naira. End of quote. Meanwhile, the supermarket situated on Mike Akibe Way and Ebitu Ukwe Street in Jabi District, Abuja, were sealed following credible consumer complaint and subsequent surveillance by the NAFDAC enforcement team, which revealed that the operators were engaged in the sale of unregistered food items and products labeled exclusively in the Chinese language, contrary to NAFDAC's mandatory labeling policy requiring English translations for the Nigerian market and regulatory understanding. In a related operation, 8 cosmetic shops within Wuse Market were also sealed for the sale of banned, expired and unregistered cosmetics and aesthetic medicines. Further investigations revealed that certain individuals had been illegally presenting themselves as dermatologists and pharmacists, prescribing and selling harmful products and suspecting consumers under the guise of body enhancement, skin whitening, aesthetic improvement for women, and manpower for men. However, reports noted that enforcement exercise was carried out by the NAFDAC Investigation and Enforcement Directorate and members of the Federal Task Force on counterfeits and substandard medicines and on wholesome processed foods in Abuja, led by the Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer, Musa Mboshiki. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has directed food and manufacturers in Nigeria to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acids from all products within the next 18 months. The agency announced the directive last week Friday during the weekend as part of a new national strategy to tackle one of the leading dietary risk factors: Fat disease, stroke, and premature death. Trans fats are commonly found in processed oils, baked goods, and fried foods. In a statement shared on X, formerly Twitter, NAFDAC Director General Prof. Mojisola Adeyeye said the new roadmap moves Nigeria from policy creation to strict enforcement and implementation. She emphasized that the removal of industrially produced trans fats is a moral imperative that is urgent, necessary, possible, and achievable. The roadmap adopts a phased approach that includes product formulation, laboratory capacity strengthening, compliance monitoring, public education, and multi-sector collaboration with government, civil society, and the private sector. Manufacturers are expected to use the transition period to exhaust old stock and formulate their products in line with new legal limits. But now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA has destroyed 24,897 kilograms of skunk in Edo State and Osun Forest, respectively. A statement by the NDLEA Director of Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi, yesterday in Abuja, the FCT said no less than 223.5 kilogram processed cannabis and seeds were recovered from 4 farms in Edo State. Given a breakdown, Mr. Babafemi said that a total of 10,897.35 kilograms of skunk was destroyed on 4 farms, measuring about 4.358938 acres at Ugbodo Forest of the Northeast Local Government Area in Edo State last week Friday. Mr. Babafemi said the 2 suspects, one Michael Young, 40 years of age, and one Bernard, also 47 years of age, were arrested also in Edo. And the NDLEA radar operative, however, last Wednesday intercepted a Toyota Sienna vehicle marked KUJ47NW loaded with 22 bags of skunk weighing about 244.5 kilograms at Ibanke, Orion local government area, and a suspect, Iye Excellent Obindi, was 28 years of age, was arrested. Similarly, Mr. Babafemi said the 3 suspects, Chimuize Shedrack, was 28 years of age, Sunday John was 25 years, and Solomon Okpokbo was 27, were nabbed by NDLEA officers last week Thursday at Ijesha Forest Reserve in Osun State. Now let's get some news updates in Kwara. The Kwara State government has craved the payment of Parent Teachers Association levies in all public primary schools, replacing it with annual schools grant to support operations. The chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Prof. Shehu Adaramaja, announced this at the opening of bid for the 2024 third and fourth quarter. UBEC and SUBEB intervention project in Ilorin, where he said Governor Abdul Rahman Abdulrazak approved the decision to ease the financial burden on the parent and ensure free access to quality basic education across the state. The SUBEB chairman also disclosed that the government had approved the procurement of English language and mathematics textbook to be distributed free to pupils. He also added that the state would provide running costs for 1,717 public schools. Mr. Adaramaja explained that the intervention project would include constructing classrooms, toilets, solar pad, boreholes, and digital literacy centers. Other plans include procuring learning materials, schools furniture, and implementing the Safe School initiative across the selected local government. As a further review that Governor Abdul Razak had approved the payment of 2025 counterpart funds for the UBEC-SUBEB intervention to sustain the ongoing education reforms. Thank you so much for joining us on ConsumerHallaTV News at 8. Still on the news in the north now. The Arewa Consultative Forum has condemned what is described as deliberate attempts to sabotage operations at the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, calling for urgent government intervention to protect the multi-billion-dollar facility. Remember, this was commissioned in 2023, and the Dangote Refinery remains Africa's largest single-train facility and a critical step towards ending Nigeria's dependence on fuel import. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Prof. Tanko Baba, the group went, the refinery had faced unrelenting onslaught since its conception, including crude supply shortages, regulatory orders, and industrial disputes. He also criticized what he called forcefully unionization demands from the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Gas, and insisting that union membership must remain voluntary. He also noted that continued disruptions violate an existing court order barring interference in refinery operations. The ACF cautioned that ongoing unrest could scare away investors and derail Nigeria's industrial progress, and the forum urged the federal government to mediate between parties, sanction defiance of court rulings, and declare the refinery and similar assets as strategic national infrastructure. The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, says it now provides full insurance cover for nearly 99% of deposits in the country's commercial banks. Managing Director of the corporation, Mr. Thompson Sunday, disclosed this during the NDIC Special Day and the ongoing Abuja International Trade Fair. Moreover, Mr. Thompson Sunday was represented by the Director of Performance Management, Mrs. Bimpe Akondeye. The NDIC board said depositors of deposit money banks are insured up to 5 million naira, while those in microfinance, mortgage, and payment service banks are covered up to 2 million naira. He also noted that this enhanced protection means over 98.9% of all bank deposits are fully covered, a move aimed at strengthening public confidence in the financial system. However, Mr. Sunday assured the Nigerians that their deposit remains safe even in the event of a bank failure, explaining that any remaining balances beyond the insured amount will be paid through liquidation dividend after a set recovery. A new report says Nigeria has emerged as the third largest recipient of development assistance from the United States Agency for International Development in Africa, securing a total of $876 million in 2024. According to the Africa Sustainable Development Report in 2025, the report was jointly produced by the Africa Union Commission, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the African Development Bank, and the United Nations Development Programme, where it showed that the Democratic Republic of Congo topped the list with about $1.3 billion, followed by Ethiopia with $1.25 billion, and Nigeria ranked ahead of South Sudan, Kenya. Despite receiving one of the continent's highest allocation, the report noted that U.S. aid accounted for only 0.21% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, the second lowest ratio among Africa's top 10 beneficiaries. In contrast, South Sudan, which receives the less aid, had the highest aid to gross domestic product ratio at 6.05%. The document also highlighted growing financing gaps in East and West Africa, particularly in populous nations like Nigeria, Ethiopia, and the DRC. It urged countries to strengthen the domestic resource mobilization and improve the fiscal efficiency to meet sustainable development goals. However, uncertainty clouds Nigeria's future reallocations after President Donald Trump reinstated a 90 freeze on all USAID programs in early 2025, pending a full review of U.S. foreign assistance. The order placed $602.95 million in new grant for Nigeria under scrutiny, most of which had been designated for route and development projects. According to the proposed USAID 2025 budget, $368 million was allocated to HIV/AIDS initiative, $73 million to malaria control, and double $3.25 million to maternal and child health. Smaller amounts were earmarked for tuberculosis, family planning, and clean energy. Reacting to the suspension, Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare Professor Ali Pate said the federal government has approved $200 million to sustain critical healthcare services, including vaccine procurement and anti-retroviral disruption. To enter news now, let's talk about electricity. The Nigerian Society of Engineers said that nearly 2 decades after Nigeria began implementing sweeping reforms to liberalize its power sector and attract private investment, the country's electricity supply remains weak. Speaking at the 29th edition of the NSE October Lecture Series held in Abuja, former NSE President Mr. Tasiu Gidari Wudiu said that the reforms have failed to deliver on promises of improved generation capacity and reliable electricity supply. Despite an uninstalled capacity of about 13,000 megawatts, it noted actual generation still falls below 50% of the figure. Mr. Gidari explained that the Electric Power Sector Reform Act of 2005, which laid the foundation of privatization, has not translated into tangible results for Nigerians. He also mentioned that Nigeria has not recorded significant progress since 2005, while blaming political interference, regulatory lapses, and weak implementation for the sector's slow growth. Similarly, Mr. Gidari also urged distribution companies to urgently address rampant commercial and collection losses that continue to undermine electricity. He also described the Electricity Act of 2023 as a potential turning point, allowing states to establish their own electricity regulators, 11 of which have already done so, and introducing an independent system operator to improve transparency through real-time energy tracking. And that is it for the news that hits this morning. Before we go, here's a recap of the major headlines we brought to you when we started the news report again. We told you first this morning that Dangote thanked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over sabotage attempt. It was also on the headline this morning that NAFDAC shot Chinese supermarket in Abuja over illegal product. We also told you this morning that NDLEA destroyed 24,897 kilograms conch and arrest suspect in Edo and Osun states. It's a wrap over there. I am Ire Ayomikunle Eke. It's a new week. Stay with us for the rest of the day. Thank you so much for listening and watching.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria, thus creating a more caring world for consumers where business thrive.
And guess what? Our Consumer Hala brand is the first consumer complaint resolution portal in Nigeria, powered by a 72-hour feedback mechanism. We offer consumer advocacy, informative talk shows, branding promotions, advertising, and lots more. Connect with us via our YouTube channel at ConsumerHallaTV. Follow us on our Facebook page, ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page, ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
Nigeria, happy Independence Day to you. As today Nigeria marks 65 years, we are reminded of how strong we Nigerians are, and our unity is one of our biggest strengths. And as we become so united, we begin to win in other aspects of the country. And so you're welcome to another beautiful episode of Market Today on Consumer Hala TV. I am Matilda Omenai. As you already know, Market Today is the show where we visit different markets across Nigeria, Lagos, to check out the prices of different things, ranging from household items to foodstuff to cosmetics, electronics, every other thing, name it. And today is not different. We are at Idumota Market. So welcome to Idumota Market, located at Lagos Island. Idumota Market is one of the oldest, largest and biggest markets in West Africa. Idumota Market is an international market. That means everybody knows about Idumota Market. They sell a variety of things, from bags to shoes to household items, in wholesale and also in retail. It is very, very easy to locate in Lagos Island. So if you want to buy anything and you want it to be very cheap, you should come to Idumota Market. But there's one thing everybody knows about Idumota Market. When you're coming to Idumota Market, you need to be very vigilant and know exactly what you're coming to do. You need to shine your eyes. So come with me as we explore Idumota Market. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Happy Independence Day.
Wish you the same.
So how do you feel about today being Independence Day?
I'm feeling happy for this country. We are also praying for the country to be better than this. Because the situation of this country, we are not happy, but we are praying to God for it to be better, more than this.
Now let's move on to why we are here. Now this is Idumota Market. So we know that Idumota is one of the biggest and largest and also oldest markets in West Africa. So what do you sell in this market?
I sell material things, like building materials like padlock, key holder, and inches. And during the time of Christmas, we sell Christmas things like Christmas tree, like Christmas wreath. This is what they call it. Part of Christmas things like Christmas light. So that is what we are selling.
Okay, sir. So now I'm going to ask you about the padlocks.
Yeah.
I think that's what I can see here. So how much do you sell your padlock?
There is some, it depends on the one you want. The one we choose, we give you the price. We have many price on it. There is one on pack, which we sell like 6,000, 5,000. There is one which is on pack. Down we sell 3,500, 2,500, 1,500, and some lowest price like 1,500, 800.
Okay, so now
That one.
this padlock that you sell here, is it cheaper here than in other markets?
It's very, very cheaper here because this is the house of padlock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's
This
the
market in Dosumo Idumota is the house of padlock.
padlock?
This is where they come and carry it and go anywhere to go and sell.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
That means you sell in wholesale.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what's the lowest amount that somebody can find padlock?
The lowest amount is 300 naira.
300 naira.
Yeah, padlock.
What kind of padlock is that?
That one they use it for maybe traveling bag, something like that. Like your tap. You want to see your tap that you don't want anybody to fetch water on your tap. They use it on anything bag or student school bag. So they use it for this.
Okay, so you know that some people have this mentality that once something is cheap, once it's cheaper than normal, it means that it's not original. So those particular ones that are quite cheap, will you say that they are original?
Let me tell you something. This country of nowadays, people have learned that not everything that is cheaper, that is not good. They have already sensed nowadays that something that you think that is cheaper, it means it will not be good. Why the one that is cost? You think that is the better, which is going to be the worst one. People have already know that. People are looking for customers. They are looking for people to patronize them. That is why they set the normal price, the low price of the market, for them to gain many customers.
Okay, so how can you know original padlock and fake padlock? There's definitely fake padlock. So how can you differentiate between original and fake?
What you are saying is that the difference between the original padlock and fake padlock. I don't have question for the fake padlock because our father was the one trading this very padlock before we were in school, and we used to come to him. And since we have been with him, we have not experienced something fake padlock. We sell the normal padlock.
So how has business been since the beginning of this year for you?
That is why, in the first place, I said we thank Almighty God because we know the situation of this country. Because when money is tight in country, people will feel it, and traders will feel it, businessmen will feel it, because the way your sales is before, it will be low than what is going on. That is it.
Okay, so where do you buy your padlocks from?
Who I used to buy padlock from is my chairman, Oluwani Shola Jukulai.
So as a last month, did you sell this padlock for the same price?
As a last month, what is there is that it depends on. I used to sell the same price, and why sometimes I will sell the high price. It depends on cost of dollar. You know, we deal with dollar.
Yes. Okay.
So we deal on dollar rates. If the price is low, we bring the price of the market down. If the price is high, we bring the market to high.
All right. So for how long have you been selling padlock in Idumota market?
What do you say?
For how long have you been selling padlock in Idumota market?
Over 20-something years, like 28 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So how has it been?
I thank Almighty God for what I've been to do.
So what's that one special thing about Idumota Market that people don't really know? It's one special thing that you love about Idumota Market.
One thing about Idumota Market which people don't know is that there's nothing. I'm not talking of part of human being. There's nothing like any materials that you want. Surely you must see it in the Idumota Market because it's combination market. So anything you come and buy in that very market, surely you see. You have the confidence that you are going to see. Apart from anything human parts, something, you are not for that. But anything materials, anything articles market, something like that, or cosmetics, you see anything you need.
So is there anything you want the government to come and do in this market to make it better for you and for your customers?
What we want government to do for us, we need support of government. Like they should empower us with capital.
Okay.
We need government to empower us with capital. That is what we really need.
Okay. So now, since today is Independence Day, what are your wishes for Nigeria? What do you wish Nigeria to become?
My wishes for Nigeria, you see, Nigeria is our country. No matter how you travel, how long you travel, maybe you are in America for good 20 years, even if you are still in London, America, you always bear in mind that I'm from Nigeria. So you need to be praying for your country. Because there is no you stay in somebody's country for long. You always know that. Think and know that there must be one day to get back home.
Okay, sir.
And our prayer is for our home to be better. It's not good to go to other country. You are feeling better there. And you come to your own country, where everywhere is there, we are just, it's not okay. So we pray for Nigeria to be better than this.
All right, so what's your name again?
My name is Kazim Sudan.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Happy Independence Day.
Same to you.
How do you feel about today being Independence Day?
Thank God we are in this country now. So we give God the glory.
Okay. So now let me ask you, what's your name, sir?
My name is Antonio.
What do you sell in Idumota Market?
I sell box.
Okay. That's gift boxes, right?
Because yes.
Okay. So how has business been since the beginning of this year?
We thank God we are cooking. Thank God everything is fine. But we are cooking now. We are cooking with it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So sir, can you give us like the prices of these gift boxes?
We have it in different sizes.
Okay.
We have sets and we have single. So it's different sizes and different design. So we are talking about sets. It's in different sizes and sets.
Okay.
So it depends on the actual one that you want.
Okay, so how much is a set?
I have the set of 15,000, 20,000, 18,000.
Okay. So the one that is just singular, like just one, how much is that one? The size?
It depends on the size. The smallest one is 2,000. And we have the one that is bigger than that. Depending on the size that you want.
So do you sell wholesale or for only retail?
Wholesale now. I'm selling wholesale. I distribute in many states in this country too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do you buy from, or how do they make it? Because we've been seeing that these particular boxes have just been trending for a very long time now, especially on social media platforms, because most people are moving into the business of gift curating and other things. So where do you get them from? Where do you buy them from?
We have imported and local one.
Okay.
The imported one is coming from China.
Okay.
So, and the local one, they made it here. They made it here. So it's one company that is producing it here. So that is it. We have the local and the imported of the boss.
So out of those two now, is there one that has more quality over the other?
Yes. Imported is more quality than local one.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of what they used to produce it. We don't have all their materials there. Then this one that they do here, I say, we're moving on now. At least we are trying.
Is there a way to tell the difference between the ones they make here and the ones that they make over there?
The difference is not much. Difference is the thickness,
Oh, I see.
and the one they make there is also thick, but still okay, no, still okay.
Alright, sir. So, for how long have you been selling in this market?
Ah, I've been selling this market past 20 years.
Wow, 20 years.
Yes,
Where exactly did you pick to sell gift boxes in Idumota market?
real.
Why did you pick to sell gift boxes? Why did you choose to sell gift boxes?
Okay, it's what people are demanding now. When people come, they will demanding. How can they get such thing? This product. So I decided to be selling blocks.
So, is there a particular time of the year that the prices of these gift boxes increase?
No
It's always the same price.
price.
Okay.
Yeah, we are selling those things. We can't
Okay,
be
yeah.
we can't be increase price there, but if it is people that bought it from us,
I
it can be
see
increased.
now.
But here now, we give everything normal price.
So that means most times when the prices go up, it's not really from the wholesalers, from the retailers.
Yes, from the retailer, not from the wholesale.
Okay, sir. So, what are the problems or challenges you face selling these gift boxes in this market?
I don't have any problem or challenge. I have to say that I don't have any problem with that.
So, do they come to supply it to you, or you go to get it yourself?
They come and supply it when I demand from the company. This is the quantity that I want to. Then they bring it for me.
So, does the cost of transportation affect the price of these gift boxes?
No, none of it at all.
Okay, sir. So, tell me something special about this Idumota market. What's one thing special about this Idumota market?
This is international market now. No, where you are coming from any country, they recognize this market very well. So even in this country, I don't want to know where you want to be selling. Surely you must mention Lagos. So it's where people have known. That is it.
So, is there anything you would tell anybody that's coming to Idumota for the first time for them to be safe, or just an advice to give them on how to buy things in Idumota market?
Advice is that if you are coming to a Idumota market, try to know where you are going. Then you hold yourself. Shine your eyes. Now Lagos, they call you. That is it.
Alright, sir. So, the last question: today being Independence Day, can you tell us one wish you have for Nigeria?
Not one issue, plenty issue.
No wish. What do you
Okay,
wish?
wish, okay.
Yes, wish. What would you wish Nigeria to become? What are your wishes for Nigeria?
My wish to this country is that God bless Nigeria, and Nigeria will better.
Okay.
Sure, that one sure.
Alright. Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Same to you.
Okay, all right, sir. So, what's your name, sir?
I'm Kenny.
What do you sell in this market?
I sell article products, article items, touchlight and batteries.
So, can you give us like some prices of this touchlight? Do you sell a wholesale or retail, first of all?
I sell hoses,
Wholesale.
cartons, hoses.
Okay, so, how do you sell its price?
In dozen or cartons.
In dozens.
I have like this one is battery and rechargeable also. So I have different prices, different items. Like this one, I sell dozens, 12,000, which is 1,000 per one. Then this one, 2,000. There are rechargeable that I sell 1,000, 9,000 per dozen.
Yes, sir. All right. So, how about the ones in carton? How much you sell it?
In carton, I have different, like I've said, I have different items. There are some that in carton 250, 200, 180, depending on the one we would like to have.
So, are these flashlights made in Nigeria?
No, it's from China.
Okay, so how do you get them? How do you buy them?
I buy direct from importer now.
Okay, sir.
From importer.
Okay. So, as of last month, did you sell these flashlights for the same price?
No, I don't have actual fixed price for now. Depend on how the dollar to
Okay.
we follow the dollar rates.
Alright. So, for how long have you been selling in this market?
Like let me say 15 years now.
15 years.
Yes.
Why did you choose to sell flashlights in Idumota market?
That's what I learned now from my masters. So,
Okay. So, how has it been? And how is the business going?
Yeah, it's good. It's fine. It's fine. No, either you sell, you not sell. Any price you put, they will buy.
Okay. So what are the challenges you face selling flashlights in this market?
You said?
What are the challenges you face selling flashlights in this market?
I face some challenges like dollar. You know how dollar used to fluctuate sometimes. So I face some challenges in that. And customer also, they used to complain sometimes. Either higher prices and all this, Nigeria economic also, and transport. So that's the challenge, and the weather also.
Okay, so now you know that there are a lot of people that sell the same thing that you sell in this Idumota market. How do you manage the competition?
No, depend on your own price. When you calculate how you bought it from importer, so you sell according to what you buy.
Is there a way to know fake and original?
Fake, there are many fake in the market, and there's original also. Depend on how you be able to identify them.
Okay, sir. So is there any advice you would give to somebody that doesn't really know anything about Idumota market and is coming to come and buy flashlight? What's the advice you would give them?
You have to learn from your Ghana. You have to learn from your master before you start.
Like a customer that's coming to buy. Like how would they know what they're coming to do? What's the advice you would give them?
Although they have to know what they are going to buy, so that they will not buy fake and they will not fall victim on all this 419. There are many in the market now, so they need to know what they are going to buy before they.
Right, sir. So as today is Independence Day, what is that one thing you wish for Nigeria?
I wish Nigeria good luck.
Okay.
And best, I wish them good government. So I wish everybody good luck.
So how can we locate your shop if you're coming to come and buy flashlights from you?
This is Dosumu Street, number 73 Dosumu.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, sir. We said we're just only going to focus on household items in Idumota market, but something struck me. We saw that they sell car batteries here also. You know, there's one thing we've learned, and one thing we know in Nigeria is that we have a specific market for cars, and that is Ladipo market. But here they also sell car batteries. So come with me as we ask the traders here how much they sell their car batteries, and if it's cheaper than that, than the one at Ladipo market. So come with me, let's go. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm very fine. I'm okay.
Okay, happy Independence Day to you.
Thank you very much. I wish you the same.
Okay, so how do you feel that today is Independence Day? How do you feel about today?
I'm not too feeling fine. I'm not very, very happy. Yeah.
Why?
Telling me that Nigeria is 65 years old. 65 years old man, building from scratch to this 65 years old. That man is supposed to have electricity. But because when God created earth, heaven and earth, he said, let there be light. But I don't know why in Nigeria there's nothing like let there be light. That's a big issue for us. Let them focus on that one. Because if they give me the opportunity today to be president of Nigeria, the first thing I will do on that particular day is to say, what will I do to bring light to the Nigerians?
Wow.
Light first. Everything will take place.
All right, sir. Okay, so sir, what do you sell in this market?
I deal on motor batteries.
Motor batteries?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give us like a price range of this motor batteries you sell?
I hate saying the price of my goods to the public. Unless you call me on phone directly, then I will tell you the prices. So most especially, but let me say the ranges, let me say from 55,000 to 100,000 naira per a particular arms. All the old arms, they don't have the same price.
Okay.
So for cars like this vehicle now is V6 engine. So it's using 75 amps. So since it's using 75 amps, from 55,000 naira to 100,000 naira. We have the one producing here in Nigeria, we have the one they are producing in China, we have the one they are producing in Malaysia, and we have the one they are producing in South Korea, then Germany. But that German ones, that one is rare. The price is almost 200,000 naira. But mostly Nigerian battery, China and South Korea batteries. Yeah.
So now these ones that you've mentioned are from different countries. Are the prices based on the quality?
Yes, sure.
Which one has more quality?
We have first class made in China battery. Very good. Price moderate. We have made in Korea. Price a bit higher. Yeah, that one, the price a bit higher. But 80% of most of those ones, they are very good. But there are some China batteries, them they are competing with that made in Korea. Yes, we have them.
Okay. So how has the business been since the beginning of this year for you?
Price varies due to the economy. Some customers, when they come, I will tell them I'm selling 20,000 today. When they come after 2 weeks, due to the importation dollar of 18, the price may even change. I may even tell them 25,000 again. The other time again, they may even come, the price will drop to 18. The price is not stable. The thing varies. So that's the thing. So I would say it's not favorable. Even me selling and the customers buying from me, it's not favorable.
Wow. So how long have you been selling in this market?
From the time I came as an apprentice till now, this is my 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
How has it been?
2009 till now.
Okay, so how has it been?
Fine, at least I'm feeding from it.
Is there a reason why you chose to sell at Idumota Market?
Yeah, you know why? Everybody out there wants to come to Idumota, that when they go there, they will see it cheaper. That's their belief.
Wow.
Let me go to Eko, they are selling it cheaper. If you go there, they are even using bell, metal was, but it's not as they think. Yeah, all of them wants to be here.
So what's that one thing you advise someone who is coming to Idumota Market to buy something? We know it's Lagos and you have to be very, very smart, especially when you're coming to a market that's as big as this. What's the advice you give to that person who is coming to this market to buy something?
I would like, if you are not familiar with the environment of this market, come with somebody that is familiar with the market. And when you come, be mindful. Mind how you hold your phone. When you come, all these transactions of POS, let me transfer money to you. Before you allow the person to move, log in into your app to confirm the money. Forget about the alert. Log in into the app, confirm that money. If that money is really credited into that account. And another thing, don't claim since you're a customer, you want to come and buy something inside the Idumota. Maybe you know more than us. You can't know more than us. This is our terrain.
Yeah.
This is our goose. You don't know more than us. Just tell the person, I don't know this thing. I'm a novice. If you do me well today, next time I will bring more customers for you and I will patronize you. So for today, I'm a novice. Please give me the best. Simple surrender.
That's
Don't
very
let
nice.
me know it.
Yeah. That's very nice. Okay, so you know that Nigeria is 65 years today. What exactly do you wish for Nigeria?
I wish them well because I'm a Nigerian. I can't run away from it. I mean, even if I travel to abroad today, even if they give me citizen of America, maybe by birth or by relationship, by marriage or anything, I'm still a Nigerian. I want this country to work. It will benefit me, benefit my neighbor, benefit my children. Let it work. No matter the tribe, let it work. That is what I want.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Yes, you too.
Okay. So, how do you feel that today is Independence Day?
Feel good. That's it. Event face.
All right,
Thank you.
ma. So, what's your name, ma?
My name is Mrs. Kafaya.
So, what do you sell in this market?
We are selling many things in this market. It was me. I'm selling hangers.
Hangers. Okay. So, how has business been since the beginning of this year for you?
Wow, very interesting. Thank God.
Okay, so can you give us like a price range of hangers that you sell? Yeah.
We have many hangers. We have imported and we have local one.
Okay. So that's important is how much?
There is one we sell 9,000, 11,000, 4,000, 3,500, and so on and so forth.
Okay, how about the local one?
The local one 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, depending on what you like.
Is it wholesale or retail?
We are selling houses.
So it's that cheap? 2,000?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how about this one I'm looking at now?
This four.
Yes.
This one is 22,000.
Okay.
Why this one is 25,000?
Okay. So now,
And there is another one 48 kg. That one is 38,000.
we've seen videos online of people usually complaining about this type of hangers and they're not very, very strong. Will you say they are strong?
This one is stronger.
So that means they might be original and then there's fake.
Yes.
So how can you know original?
You know this one is from China. And there is another one is local one that's used our weather people that used to do.
Okay.
That one is local one. That is only the difference between this one and the other one.
So for how long have you been selling in this market?
Wow. I say more than 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So since that 10 years, that time you started, and now which one do you prefer?
Well, now
You
I can
prefer
say yes.
Yeah.
People are now using it more than before. Before
Okay.
our olden days, our father, they use anger to
Yeah.
hang to us.
That's
Put
iron
it there, Gary, for me. Something like that.
Yes.
So, but now people are using it now.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Okay, so now let's go outside so you can just show us the ones you have and tell me the price.
This one now is local one. This one is 1.5. This one is 2,000. This one is 3,000. That is a local one. Look at this one, and this one is imported.
Okay.
This one is 4.5. Why this one is 3,005?
Okay.
The difference between this one and this one, just only the colors, because this one is good. So people like it because it's flashing color, and they like it more than this one, and that is only the difference.
Wow.
Why this one? Why this one is 9,000?
Wow.
Yes, this
It's
is
imported.
wooden. Yes, it's imported. This one is plastic wooden. Why this one is ordinary wooden? This one is 9,000 as well.
Okay, ma'am. So, are you the one also selling this?
Yes.
How much is it?
This one is 2,000. This hook hanger. They used to place it on the wall. And this one too, the same thing.
You know, one thing I've noticed about this is that, before we usually like put nails in the wall to hang things, but now people now make use of this one.
This one, they just put gum at the back of. When you just remove it, you just remove the paper that's at the back. You just place it on the wall. So this one is not need nail or other thing.
So it's 2,000 naira.
Yes.
And it lasts very well.
Yes, it's very last.
Okay. So, what are the challenges you face in this market? The problems you face?
Our customers. When you say this one is 3,000, iron, I just this ordinary iron is 3.5. It's too expensive. Madam, you cannot even this 1.5. What I buy at the rate of 3,000. Why can I sell this at the rate of 2,000? Madam is not. I saw this 1,000 there. I saw this 1.5 there. I said, madam, please help me buy. So that is the only challenge you face.
Okay, so you know that today is Independence Day. So what do you wish for Nigeria to become?
Wow, Nigeria. I want my country to be the best country for Nigeria.
So now in this Idumota market, what's that one thing that makes Idumota special that you just love about the market?
This Idumota, whatever you want to buy in this Idumota, you can get it. If you want to buy clothes, I want to buy shoes, I want to buy hanger, I want to buy clip, whatever you want, you will see it. Yeah. All
right, thank you very much, man. Tell us your name again.
My name is Afayas Bolaji.
All right, thank you very much. Our time at Idumota Market has revealed that you have to be very sharp if you are coming to buy anything at Idumota Market. Yes, there are options and there are very cheap things here, but then you have to be very smart and know exactly who you are buying from and what exactly you are buying from. There are a variety of options that you can buy from, and today we've talked to a lot of traders, just like 5 or 4 traders here, and we've got to know different prices of these things. They sell mostly wholesale things here. We talked to those that sell flashlights, hangers, different household items, gift boxes, and we had a lovely time because it was very insightful. And we've come to know that Idumota is an international market. That means you can get anything you are looking for in this market, but always remember to shine your eyes. And that's all we can take on today's episode of Market Today on ConsumerHallaTV. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and comment on all our social media platforms. ConsumerHallaTV on YouTube, ConsumerHallaTV on Facebook, ConsumerHallaTV on X. That's all for now. My name is Matilda Omenai. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Good morning and welcome to Perspective on ConsumerHallaTV. This is where we have discussions about burning issues making the rounds. I am Iri Ayomikule Eke. On today's edition of Perspective, our discussion will be centered over the new tax reform bills signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After a long debate and politicking, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last week signed 4 tax laws which will define his administration tax reform bills. They are aimed at overhauling Nigeria's fiscal and revenue administration framework. The move is expected to significantly transform tax administration and also increase revenue generation and also to improve the business environment. The new tax regime will begin on January 4th, 2026, allowing for a 6-month transition period for planning, education, and alignment with the fiscal calendar. The bills are the Nigerian tax bill, which aim is to consolidate Nigeria's fragmented tax laws into a harmonized statute. The Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, which will establish a uniform legal and operational framework for tax administration across all federal, state, and local government. The Nigerian Revenue Service Bill, which repeals the current Federal Inland Revenue Service Act and creates a more autonomous and performance-driven national agency, and also the Nigerian Revenue Service. The Joint Revenue Board bill that provides for a formal governance structure to facilitate cooperation between revenue authorities at all levels of government. At the signing ceremony at the State House, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said at the occasion that every Nigeria and future generation is important, and he also emphasized that the reforms will deliver Nigeria's first major pro-people tax cut in targeting vulnerable populations. And getting to the discussion this morning, we have Mr. Kunle Olutayo. We have Mr. Kunle Olutayo Adebambo. He is the partner Adebambo Adelalu and co-chartered accountant. We have him on board this morning. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
All right, let's get the talk started. Can you give us your overview of those new reform bills?
Okay. Actually, the government has good intention. The government is trying to ensure that some of these tax laws have been very outdated, and what it's trying to do is that they can bring it into all the statutes. There will no duplicity, and multiple taxes can be eradicated. So what the government has done is that to simplify and also consolidate the tax law, they established some Nigerian tax bill was signed into law. Which is to harmonize the complex and fragmented tax structure. So also to have uniform tax administration, the Nigerian tax administration was also signed into law so that the legal and operational framework for tax collection, both among federal, state, and local government, and then leveraging on digital system to boost efficiency and transparency. And also the what they call creation of Nigerian Revenue Service. This is meant to now replace Federal Inland Revenue Service. It is to bring a performance-driven establishment so that to enhance their power and also help to this one now. They will, previously Federal Inland Revenue Service do not collect custom, but from now, the new tax that is being created now, Nigerian Revenue Service, they are going to be collecting non-tax revenue so that they can have strict accountability. And also there is this other one, the fourth one, which is Joint Revenue Board establishment, to set up a formal body that will align federal, state, and local government, and also where there is conflict. The tax man is now set up to resolve this conflict.
All right, thank you for that one. That's a very insightful one. And in reference to what you said, are the tax relief measures provided in the new law sufficient to ease the tax burden on low-income earners and small businesses? And how will the government ensure that this tax burden is distributed fairly among different segments of society?
Yes, the intention of the government is to make the low-income earners, small businesses, to have more purchasing power and disposable income at their end. But the challenge is, it is more than that. If you look at it, it's more complex than that. The challenge we only have in our country is implementation. The good intention is not even enough. It is the implementation of these policies that is a challenge. For what the government wanted, that so that people that are very, very low at the bottom line of the thing, they will have more money. They don't need to be taxed. They don't need to pay with tax. And then small businesses can grow to become, when you become large, you can then be paying taxes. So for now, what happened is that the intention is okay. They have that intention to make sure that at least they are not overburdened with taxes for now. That there's relief for them, but it's only the issue of implementation that may be a challenge. So the issue of doing business for small businesses is so that you are not taxed for your business, grow and expand your business, and as you grow, you now start paying taxes. So
That's a very
ease of
insightful
doing
one.
business is for small.
That's a very insightful one. I must say, while answering the question, you made mention of implementation policy, that is one of the challenges we are facing. What can the government do to overcome the implementation policy that is serving as a challenge in reference to this reform bill's law?
One of the things that government can do is, first of all, there is need for training the staff of the more, that is capacity building now. Then also there is need for public enlightenment, not only in terms of campaign and everything. All should be this campaign should be in our native language, so that people all over the nation can have it. You know, the reality is that I think the intention of the government is to get more people into tax net, get more people and paying lower, not that the few that are paying. From the statistics that we have population, estimated population of Nigeria is supposed to be 200 million. Working, there are almost, let's say, about 80, 90 million. But people that are paying tax are just 10 to 15 million out of this working population. So you can see that it is still low. But when more people come into the tax net, but not at a higher rate, you will have more money. Government will have more revenue at their disposal. So there is need for public enlightenment, and then also digitalizing the simplifying the system in terms of how people can register, how they can also make their returns, will make it easier. It's not all the states that have this capacity. Some are still done manually. So, but when you do it, when there is a digital implementation, it will help. You can do it from the convenience of your house or office, anywhere you are. So it makes it more robust for government to get more revenue. So those are the things. I mean, capacity building of their staff, public enlightenment, not only in English, in other languages, so that people will understand. There must be public awareness. It's not only people that are working. A lot of people in the rural village may not be aware of these things. They need to enlighten them And then I will also mention this: if the government show transparency, ensuring that the tax collected now, they can relate it to what they have used it to do, people will be more willing to pay tax when they can see what the tax have been used for.
Right, that's a whole lot. But in accordance to your last statement, what can the federal government do to make sure transparency is well accountable for? Talking about this new reform bills.
Yes, government must be truthful in the sense that there must be that public accountability to bring it. I mean, they are making sure that they are bringing to the public how much have been collected and what they have used it for. You understand? The reality, there is this trust that people should have. When people see that they can feel the impact of what the government is doing in terms of the revenue, one of the reasons why we went into this is because our oil, the mono economy where we depended on oil, but the government is trying to diversify to make sure that, okay, we can have other sources of income at our disposal. So what it means is that government must be transparent and show trust, public trust. And when there is public trust, people will be willingly pay their taxes, and they can see what they have used it for. So people will be more willing to comply.
All right, thank you for that one, Mr. Kunle Olutayo. In looking out for this reform bill law, I believe that the Nigerians, the consumers, the ordinary Nigerians have to be prioritized in this. What do this new tax law means to the ordinary Nigerians, and how will the new tax law affect the average Nigerian consumer, particularly in terms of disposable income and purchasing power?
As I mentioned, there are some areas where the government have said people that have low income will not be taxed. And now, prior to this, in measure, what we have presently is that businesses with over 25 million taxes, but they have now increased 50 million. The government has increased it to 50 million. So what it means is that business can have more money, and then this will enhance even employment of people. And then the people that are not 800,000 collecting 800 annum pay taxes. Anybody and below will not pay any tax, have more discount. But on the flip side, if it's not well implemented, there may be inflation, and that inflation will now take the expected
TV. This is where we have discussions about burning issues making rounds, and right now,
in terms of how they do their operation. It's only some few states that are that capacity for now. If all the states can be digitalized, and so in such a way that people can pay their taxes at their convenience, I mean, at their home, in their offices, it will make it easier for government to get more. So what the government need to do is to help people after the public awareness and public campaign, is to ensure that even from your phone, your mobile devices, you should be able to pay your taxes. It should not be something difficult, so that when you make it easier, government will have more revenue at their disposal, and also something that can be shown. People can see the value they are. I mean, for the payment of the tax, if they can get value for it. For now, we don't have enough additional. I believe the government are giving 6 notice in terms of how do they will be strategic in ensuring that this institutional framework should be in so that they will be able to get more tax from citizens.
All right, thank you very much for that beautiful insight. What mechanism can the federal government deploy to make sure there is proper placement of things to eradicate corruption?
Okay. One of the things that should be done is to be transparent about this collection of taxes. As I mentioned earlier, when people see where the money has gone, infrastructure, hospitals, education institution, and people are seeing it, I know the level of to build public trust to, with government and the citizen, and people will even try to ensure that nobody, and then the staff, the revenue staff, whether state or federal, which is Nigerian Revenue Service now, will be monitored closely to ensure when they bring out their what do you call it, let me say, their accounts to show the public that public accountability, saying that this is how much you have collected and this is what the government have used it for. You understand? The level of corruption, there will be willingness on citizens to pay, and people will even be interested in monitoring what they are paying to, so they can see where it's going, to be sure that it doesn't go. One of the things that can help as the government is also to digitalize. When you remove manual operation can be manipulated, but once it's automated and digitalized, it will ease those leakages and corruption practices. You don't need to see anybody before you do your thing, and you have done it. You understand? So it will reduce all those practices and the corruption that we have in the system.
For that one, while talking, you made mention of the Nigerian revenue staff. How can the Nigerian revenue staff deploy more contributions for the progression of those reform bills?
Come again, sir. I didn't get that.
Okay, while answering the question, you made mention of the Nigerian revenue staff. What other role can they play in the contribution of the progress bill reinforcement?
Yes, what they can play is just for them to ensure that they do what they are supposed to do by providing excellent service to the public. Also, they are being transparent and showing responsibility. When you don't have hindrances in terms of, there are times, I remember some few years ago, before the now Federal Land Revenue Service, if you want to submit your VAT return, it was a hell, because you go to the time, you see a lot of people, a lot of queue, and the staff are not enough. You understand? But with the introduction of Promas, where you can file online and you don't need to do it makes it easier. Understand? It makes it easier for you. So one of the things that the revenue staff can do is to do their work excellently. So by providing excellent service to the public, by that what is expected of them is being done.
I think the Nigerian revenue staff are seeing this right now, and I tell them that by them doing the needful, of course, we'll get positive results. Let's cite the overall economy. How will this new tax law impact the overall economy, particularly in terms of the economic growth and in reference to the inflation and employment?
Yes, no doubt about it that some items will be, the price may be increased because normally tax can be charged to the consumers, especially direct taxes. Now, what happened is that in the long run, the economy will grow if it is implemented very well in terms of having employment for people. You know, small business will now grow and they will employ more people. It will bring about employment. Then it will, once they grow, they will now grow to a level that they too can pay taxes. There will be uh, more revenue for government. And since it has been simplified in such a way that, I mean, you can do it at your convenience. I mean, it will help government to also get more money. More than we will now see more development in terms of infrastructure and other government expenditure. So the overall effect is that in the long term, if it is well implemented, the country is going to benefit. Government is going to benefit seriously because
Thank you,
the
Mr.
government is trying to diversify from the oil revenue to ensure that we have other sources of income that they can use.
All right, a big thank you, Mr. Akunle Olutayo. And in adherence to this new reform laws, if all the policies that surround this reform bill's laws are strictly adhered to, in the next 5 years, or let me say 4 years, what do you think? Where do you see Nigeria?
We're seeing, if you have mentioned, if it is well implemented, we will now be, our economy will have grown very fast in terms of the GDP. And then also there will be, if there is more employment, if there is more income, more revenue to the government, the growth in the next 4 or 5 years, I see our country uh, being in a place of one of the countries that people will be willing to come and invest. From foreign investment are likely to come in, and to attract foreign investment. It will now make people, even maybe our youth may not want to now leave the country if you know that you can do, because uh, because our country, there are opportunities that are very, very vast. It's just that because of that, the issue and multiple taxes, which the government is trying to eliminate, it will help people now to say, okay, they can see light at the end of the tunnel. So I know Nigeria will have been better than this in the 4 or 5 years if it is well implemented.
All right. Mr. Kululutayo says that if the policy to these new reform bills is strictly adhered to, the high rate of JAPA will be decreased. And I can tell you, if that is if there is a decrease in that angle, of course it's going to be a thing of joy because it's going to create job employment opportunities in the country. And now, what step will the government take to ensure a smooth transition to the new tax regime? And how will consumers be supported during this process?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, there should be serious public campaign, public awareness in terms of the new tax reform. People, even though when they were trying to, there was a body that was in charge, led by Mr. Taiwo Yedele, but the reality is that it is the, will I say, people in the rural areas. I don't know whether they were carried along. So there need to be a public campaign to ensure that all this information are translated into our native language. You know, we have multiple languages in our nation. So we need this perspective to be able to let people know. And they are also educated on why they need to do it. And they are seeing it with time. It will help everybody. But it will be a win-win situation. So the government need to do public enlightenment, public campaign, in our native language, and also the staff of the various revenue should be trained. There should be a capacity building so that when these things start, when it comes to full education, of course there will still be some little things, but it will not be something that will overwhelm them.
All right. How will the government enforce compliance with the new tax law?
Okay. To ensure compliance, just as I've mentioned, you have to simplify the system in such a way that it will be easier for anybody. For example, if you want to register as a payer, it should not be something that is difficult for you to do. People will be willing to. If the process is difficult, people will be discouraged to register. For example, if you give you a tax identification. Although one of the things that I know that the government is trying to do now is that they are trying to leave everybody TIN number to your BVN, you understand? So that at any point in time, when the thing is linked together, they will know whether they're able to track whether you are paying taxes or not. So to ensure compliance, what the government is trying to do is, what should do is to simplify registration of taxpayer, and everybody that is meant to pay tax is expected to find it more easier to come into the tax net, not something that will discourage them. And I mentioned public enlightenment, and then they should improve transparency and accountability. Another time, they should improve transparency and accountability. Then also harmonize tax structure across the tiers of government. The government is trying to prevent multiple taxation. That is why they are consolidating these taxes together so that they can have a unified framework. Then they also they will ensure that the national tax policy guideline is being. It discourages arbitrary levies and taxes that are not supposed to be. That's it.
All right, that's a very insightful one, I must tell you, Mr. Kunle Olutayo. And how will the new tax regime protect consumer rights? Because it's very, very essential over this reform law to look out for the consumer rights. So how will the new tax regime protect consumer rights, particularly in terms of fair pricing and transparency?
We have various body, also government institutions like the Consumer Protection Agency. We have also the thing is to be able to monitor prices so that there will not even be inflation, because so that people don't take the businesses and the individual don't take advantage of the law to now increase prices arbitrarily. I think the government should be able to monitor these consumer agencies should be there. And one of the things they mentioned also is one of the bills that have set up a tax ombudsman that will be able to, any conflict that arises can be resolved by this authority that they are being set up now. So one of the things that government will need to do is to ensure that the consumer are protected, is to make this monitoring prices. Though we are operating in a capitalist economy where demand and supply determines prices, but one of the things is that to be all and people don't take of the tax law to now increase price. For example, if we increase from 7.2%, you should not go and increase your own by 15-20%. so that you will now take advantage and say, it is the tax. They will not be. No, there must be a way to ensure that, and then that to avoid inflation also.
All right, thank you, Mr. Akwiliolutai. I must say it has been a very insightful moment having you on board on today's perspective. Before we let you go finally on the program this morning, let's have your parting shot. And what do you advise the government?
Yes. Before I will start with the citizens. Normally it's a civic responsibility for us to pay taxes. We should be able to demand for our right in terms of knowing what the taxes are being used for. Then also the government should be transparent and bring public accountability to this reform so that so that they can build trust. When there is trust between the citizen and the government, it will be a win-win situation. You understand? When you know that you pay taxes and there is you cannot expect, we won't allow the situation. This oil one, we don't know how much it loss actually. But this one, when you know you pay taxes and you are seeing public officials living beyond their means, you can be able to now say, no, this is not acceptable. People will be able to shout and say no, because it's your labor, something that they have worked for. Somebody cannot be wasting it or just to avoid leakages and corruption. We need to now be doing, we as citizens, to now follow up with government to know where these taxes are being used. Build that public trust, and we have that accountability. We have that responsibility. I think everybody, it will be a win-win situation for everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Akwiliolutai, for honoring us with your time on Perspective this Monday morning.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to see more of you on each editions of Perspective.
No problem. I'm always available. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Please do well to enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right, now we have to drop the pen on Perspective this beautiful morning. And in reference to what Mr. Akwiliolutai said, he said we the citizens have to pay our tax. Our tax is very, very compulsory and it's mandatory for us to pay it. And he said by paying our tax, we need to know what the government are doing with this tax. And the government have to play a role of accountability and transparency in this. And I love the fact where he said consumer rights should be protected. I think this is where I'm slightly interested in, and this is what the government and the essential bodies that has to do with this reform bills should take very important and mandatory, making sure the consumers are well protected in reference to their rights. That will be all for Perspective today. Another beautiful edition of Perspective will be back tomorrow. Please do well to stay with us for more insightful programs coming up your way. I am Ire Ayomikoleke. Good morning.
My name is Tunde Olufowora. I'm the CEO of Bandai Communications. We are we call the publisher or the owner of the new initiative called ConsumerHallaTV. ConsumerHallaTV is actually Nigeria's first consumer-centered, or call it consumer-centric television platform that aims to bring voice to the over 220 million Nigerians. It was a vision that came to my heart about 10 years ago, I remember that I was traveling. I traveled out of the country, on airline, and I had this unpleasant experience. It was a trip to an African country from Nigeria, and I actually went with a local flight from Nigeria. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the airline, and then it was to South Africa, and we landed in South Africa, and let me just paraphrase it. When I was coming back, I had some money, some dollars, and that someone had given to me to hand over to another person in Nigeria. So I wanted to help out. I didn't want to carry the cash on myself. So for whatever reason, I opted to. I had a small case, and I felt that it was safer for me to put the money in my luggage. So I put it in a safe place in my luggage, got everything intact, and I checked in my luggage. My arrival in Nigeria, I was standing and was waiting by the carousel just so that I could pick up my luggage, and then I was there for 1 hour and waiting for my luggage. I didn't know that my luggage already arrived, and it was one of the luggage that was moving around on the carousel. So after about 1 hour wait, I looked to my left and my right. Almost everybody had gone. I think there were just about 2 or 3 left. So I beckoned on the woman that was on my side, and I noticed she was really in tears. Madam, what happened? She said, her bag has just been torn and a lot of things stolen. So I said, well, I've also been waiting for my own. She said, you better go and check those luggages there. Maybe yours is one of them. And lo and behold, I went around there. Mine was one of them. By the time I got it, everything inside my luggage was gone. All the valuable things there were gone. To cut the long story short, we felt there was need for us to report the case, at least to the airline. It was in the night, about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We went in to go and see the officer that was in charge. As soon as we got in there, the officer said, "Oh, so sorry, but you will have to go to our head office in somewhere in Victoria Island, to lodge a complaint." Okay. So the next day we went to the Victoria Island and we lodged a complaint, and that was it. And since that day, I'm talking a story of over 10 years ago, I didn't get a call, not even a call from that airline to talk to me about what happened to my luggage. Now, about a month after that trip, I had another opportunity to travel out of the country. This time around it was to US, and it was an official assignment. And I flew on, I will mention the airline this time around. I flew on a BA. I really didn't like BA. I usually go with Virgin Atlantic and things like that. But my protocol officer convinced me and said, "Okay, you will love BA. Why don't you go on BA?" Anyway, so I went on BA to US. And of course, when I returned from US to Nigeria, we had to do, of course, there'll be like a connecting flight, from Heathrow. So we got into London Heathrow, and then because it was through Heathrow that we went, and then so they changed since it was BA, they changed the aircraft this time around to a bigger one. I mean, clearly because there were more Nigerians, or more people that were planning to come to Nigeria, and then we boarded. Not quite 10 minutes into the flight, in the air, the aircraft started malfunctioning. The air conditioning compartment were not functioning very well. I was on what you call business economy, the whole of that business economy all the way to economy side, the ACs were not working well. It was hot. And then I was watching. And then from that moment till we got to Nigeria. From that moment till we got to, I'm just trying to paraphrase. From that moment till we got to Nigeria, I could remember very well how many times the pilot, broke into conversation and had to apologize and say, we're really very sorry about this. He was giving us almost every 30 minutes. There's always a kind of update. So sorry, this is what we're doing now, this is what we're doing. While we were on that journey, I also remember an incident. So they came, the crew apparently couldn't resolve they couldn't manage the crisis or what was going on about it. They couldn't fix it. So they come up and said, we're so sorry, but for all the inconvenience, we're declaring, free lunch, free whatever it is you want, you can get. So trust Nigerians, you need to hear how everybody was jubilating, But something struck me. The experience I had just about a month before, and this experience, somehow I started comparing them. I was trying to see how this matter will be managed. Again, to cut the story short, we landed in Nigeria on the BA. Before we landed, the pilot announced and said that for the inconvenient, they will be giving a voucher of £50 to everyone that flew on that aircraft. I thought it was a joke. I mean, it was my first time with BA, but for what I knew or know of the British man would never even play with his 1 penny, talking of £1. So I felt that must be a joke of the year. So we left. I got back to my office. I think it was just about a week after. My officer, our guys in our mail room came up and said, "Oh, you have a parcel." So I said, "Parcel? Yeah." So they brought this parcel wrapped. I opened it, and boom, I brought the document out. It was the £50 voucher from BA. So what was the tenor of this story? An experience with one airline was terrible, no apology. An experience with another one, even though it was a bad experience, but it was very well managed. So managed that even if we have suffered anything in that aircraft, you probably, for the sake of how they manage it, will have forgiven them. So that was how this journey started. So I started thinking, my mind, this is what we go through in this country. But are we different from other nations? So God put in my heart the idea of ConsumerHalla. That's why the Hala came with consumer. And we started that journey about 10 years ago. We started by creating a platform called ConsumerHalla, where consumers, so I discovered that Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. So things happen, and that's it. We live with everything. So we've started the journey from creating the platform. We have an app, we even have a magazine, and we thought we could move it from that to the next stage, which is the television. So the TV today, has come. So I would say precept by precept, line upon line, we have been able to build on our aspiration, to finally bring to birth this unique and exciting platform, So it's a digital telecast, and our goal is to further connect consumers in Nigeria to brands with insightful news, development within the fast-paced world of consumers. The world of consumers is growing at a very fast pace, So we want to inform Nigerians. We want to get them educated about their rights, So our role is that we're going to educate consumers in Nigeria, all right? So by bringing them specialized and what you call analytical, research-based content generation that will inform, educate, sensitize the audience, So that's ConsumerHallaTV. So I call it an offshoot of our ConsumerHalla brand. ConsumerHalla brand actually was the first we call it the first complaint or consumer complaint resolution portal. When we started it about 10 years ago, or about 7 years ago, it became the first complaint resolution portal. We created it so that Nigerians can actually lodge complaint on that portal. We spent a lot of resources to build a very robust platform where today, if you have any complaint, about any brand, any leading brands in Nigeria, and you go on that platform, you can actually click, just a click, you can find the brand, you can actually lodge your complaint, and once you submit it, that complaint will be routed to that organization, and within 72 hours, we will obtain feedback for you. We build it in such a way that we have connection to almost all the organizations, and it's been working. We've resolved several complaints for people without having to charge them any penny, because the idea is not to charge. So what we have done with ConsumerHallaTV is to take it to the next level. So we hope to change the narrative. We want to give the right direction. Nigeria has the largest consumer market in the world, with a population of over 220 million people. Why should we be the one that is suffering the most? Everywhere you turn to, it's as though Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. You're traveling, you buy a ticket. For whatever reason, an airline will wake up middle of the night, delay the flight for whatever reason, and then you'll be waiting at the airport for hours. You'll be there for 2 hours, 3 hours, no any explanation. Then while you're there, they can even wake up and say, oh, flight has been cancelled. So everybody carry their luggage and go home. Nothing happened. Of course, things are changing. We must commend government, because government is beginning to wake up, but there's still a lot to be done. And we believe that we can help to make, bring about those right changes. So we offer deliberately, part of what we do is that we also offer advocacy. All right. We're not just an advocacy organization, but we offer advocacy. We have a legal team. We have lawyers that are registered on our platform, all right, that can also take up cases. Okay, so and we've taken up many cases like that, and won those cases. So ConsumerHalla is a platform to help consumers to. We're not fighting brands, but rather we say we're bringing about an amicable, resolution of conflict, such that it will be beneficial to the consumers and also be beneficial to the brand. I remember the word of Jeff Bezos. Bezos is the founder of Amazon. He said that the most important single thing, all right, for an organization is to focus obsessively, use the word obsessively, on the customer. We often say that customers is a king. They should sit at the top of the ladder. In our environment, customers are the ladder. A brand wakes up today, decide what product to produce. They wake up today, decide how much the consumer should pay. They wake up to decide everything for consumers. So consumers are just at the receiving end, and yet they are milking the consumers. There's no price regulation in this country, none. People just wake up and fix prices. Look at the power. Government wakes up, we change policy, we wake up and we get people to pay more. We think it's time for consumers to begin to speak out. In speaking out, in engaging, we can get the brand to begin to do what is right. And of course, I know that the consumers themselves need to be educated. So our role, our vision also is to ensure that we educate consumers, we bring awareness. A lot of Nigerian consumers don't even know about their rights. You buy a product from a supermarket. I've had this experience. You buy a product from a supermarket, all right? For whatever reason, you take that product back to your house, and maybe something went wrong somewhere. By the time you take that product back to the shop where you bought it from, and you say, Oga, this thing, you know what's going to tell you? Oga, na me make am. Na me make am, and that's why I buy am. Meaning that there's nothing I can do to the product. So you lose the product, then you lose your money, because the money is not refunded. The product you can't use. Only in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria. Let me give you another experience I had. In the course of this, because I did a lot of, I went around, you know, in doing this. I was in US, I was in UK, I was in South Africa, I was in Germany, just because of this, to just study the environment. You know, I was in a friend's house in UK, in London, you know, and then what happened? We were going to go out, and he was going to dress up. So he said, oh, to me, I was seated in his sitting room. So he said, oh, wait a minute, I picked up an iron, that's the pressing iron, 2 days ago or so from a store. You know, oh, let me try this, let me just try and use that to iron my shirt and we can go out. So I was seated, the TV was on, I was watching. While I watched him, he brought out the pressing board, you know, spread it out, brought the iron out in my presence, plugged in the iron, and then as soon as he switched on the power button, we just had a spark. Boom! Ooh. The guy was raged. Then he goes, what? What just happened? So he said, no, these guys are in trouble, they're in soup. I was thinking, what are you going to do? You know, I was trying to compare that experience to what would have happened in Nigeria. In my presence there, he opened the pack, there was a card inside it. Inside that card was a call, number to call. And they called the shop or wherever he got the thing from. I was hearing the conversation that was going on. And all he said to them on the phone was, look, you know, by the time he even called, you know, clearly because they already, through the call, they could trace where he was calling from and who was calling. He said, yeah, I picked up this number, I picked up this iron yesterday, and guess what? I just plugged it to power, and then this thing just, you know, didn't work. At the other hand, I could hear the voice, oh, we're so sorry. We're sorry about that. And they said, this is your address, yeah. Don't worry, we'll get you a replacement. All right. So my friend handed the call and dropped the. So I said, so what's going to happen? He said, don't worry yourself now. Shebi, we're here. They will bring a replacement. I said, they will bring a replacement. He said, yes. I said, they won't even try to check whether it was your fault, because it could have been your fault. Maybe you didn't do something well about the first. No, it can't be his fault now. Shebi, it's a brand new item that he bought. While we were still talking, in fact, I'm not even sure it was up to 30 minutes or so, we had a knock on the door. He himself said he must be the dispatch person. By the time he opened the door, it was a dispatch man that was on the other side. And then the dispatch man was at the door. Just watch this. Was at the door. I was seated in the sitting room. The guy was at the door to meet with the dispatch guy. The dispatch man that brought the replacement iron, you know, I heard him say, we're so sorry. So I was so shocked. I mean, a dispatch man, this guy is a dispatch, so also apologize. I was so touched by that. Even a dispatch man was so trained, you know, to tell the guy, we are so sorry. And guess what? He brought the replacement iron. By the time my guy opened the iron, it was a bigger size iron. So they replaced with a bigger size iron. The guy never asked for the one that went back. He didn't say, "Oga, where is the other one that we gave to you," so that he could take it back. No, he just bought a new one and gave it back. So I asked my friend, I said, "Can you interpret this to me?" He said, "Here in London, if they didn't do this, they know the next thing I would do." So I'm just going to grab a lawyer and I'm going to tell them they've destroyed something in my house. By the time I'm done, they will pay through their nose, because the consumers are conscious of their rights. In Nigerian consumers, even those who are aware, won't even take the battle up. Everybody just go, what can we do now? Today they wake up and ban this. What can we do now? So we're going to change the narrative. We have to stand up. So the vision of ConsumerHallaTV is really to create an engagement platform that constantly mirrors the minds of consumers and provide right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria. Thus, we believe, will be forming part of that our overall vision, of creating a more caring world of consumers where businesses thrive. So, I think that we'll make our impact. We ask you to join us on this journey. ConsumerHallaTV will drive engagement. It will also be there to help to promote brands that are doing what is right. So we're not out to criticize any brand. Rather, we have to complement what the brands are doing, because there is no organization that or a business that was set up to fail. Nobody set up a business to fail. So there are just gaps that need to be fixed. So together we can fix things, and together we believe that we will create the right story for consumers in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Good morning and welcome to ConsumerHallaTV News this hour. I am Ire Ayomikunle Eke. We start the news by talking about Dangote Petroleum Refinery. The refinery commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his timely intervention for averting what is described as the disruptive actions of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria against the company. Their statement issued yesterday, the company said the president's leadership through his ministries and senior government officials ensured the restoration of order and stability to the energy sector at a critical moment. Recall that Pengansen had last week shut down critical oil and gas facilities over allegations that the Dangote refinery sacked 800 workers who joined the union. But now, the intervention of the federal government restored normalcy as Pengansen suspended the strike last week Wednesday. The statement read, and I quote, Dangote Refinery is grateful to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his intervention through his ministers and senior officials, which resulted in the abatement of the disruptive actions of Pengansen against the refinery. End of quote. According to the company, among the key government officials who worked tirelessly to restore normalcy were Nigeria's security chiefs, led by the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuri Badu, the Director General of the Department of State Services, Mr. Adeola Ajayi, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Mr. Mohammed. So the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control now has a short-to Chinese supermarket located in the Jabi district and 8 cosmetic shops at Wuse Market, Abuja, for selling and distributing regulated products in the country. Now that disclosed this in a press statement at the weekend, signed by the Deputy Director of Public Relations Protocol, Mr. Adegboyega Osiemi, the agency said, and I quote, acting on the directive of the Director General of NAFDAC, Prof. Mojisola Adeyeye, the enforcement team confiscated and evacuated offending product worth over 170 million naira. End of quote. Meanwhile, the supermarket situated on Mike Akigbe Way and AB2 Kwe Street in Jabi District, Abuja, was sealed following credible consumer complaint and subsequent surveillance by the NAFDAC enforcement team, which revealed that the operators were engaged in the sale of unregistered food items and products labeled exclusively in the Chinese language, contrary to NAFDAC's mandatory labeling policy requiring English translations for the Nigerian market and regulatory understanding. In a related operation, 8 cosmetics shops within the Wuse Market were also sealed for the sale of banned, expired, and unregistered cosmetics and aesthetic medicines. Thank you so much for joining us. This is ConsumerHallaTV News at 10. I am Ire Ayomikunle. We'll be right back. Let's go to a short break. Apologize for that break. Now, still talking on the news, further investigations revealed that certain individuals had been illegally presenting themselves as dermatologists and pharmacists, prescribing and selling harmful products to unsuspecting consumers under the guise of body enhancement, skin whitening, aesthetic improvement for women, and manpower for men. However, report noted that the enforcement exercise was carried out by the NAFDAC Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, members of the Federal Task Force on Counterfeit and Substandard Medicines and on Wholesome Processed Foods in Abuja, led by the Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer, Mr. Musa Ngboshiki. Meanwhile, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has directed food manufacturers in Nigeria to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acid from all products within the next 18 months. The agency announced the directive on Friday as part of a new national strategy to tackle one of the leading dietary risk factors for heart disease, stroke, and premature death. Trans fats are commonly found in processed oils, baked goods, and fried foods. A statement shared on X formally tweeted after Director General Prof. Mojisola Adeyeye said the new roadmap from Nigeria policy creation to strict enforcement and implementation. She also emphasized that the removal of industrially produced trans fats is a moral imperative that is urgent, necessary, possible, and achievable. She also said the roadmap adopts a phased approach that includes product reformulation, laboratory capacity strengthening, compliance monitoring, public education, and multi-sector collaboration with government, civil society, and the private sector. Manufacturers are expected to use the transition period to exhaust old stock and reformulate their product in line with new legal limit. Right now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has destroyed 24,897 kilograms of skunk in Edo State and Osun State. A statement by the NDLEA Director, Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi, yesterday in the FCT said no less than 223.5 kilograms processed cannabis and seeds were recovered from 4 farms in Edo State. Given the breakdown, Mr. Babafemi said that a total of 10,897.35 kilograms of skunk was destroyed on 4 farms, measuring 4.358938 acres at Ubodo Forest, Ovia Northeast, local government area in Edo State. Meanwhile, last Friday, Mr. Babafemi said the 2 suspects, one Mr. Michael Ayang, 40 years of age, and one Mr. Bernard, also 47 years of age, were arrested. In Edo State, NDLEA operatives were